Good morning, cadets. In the previous session, we have studied the speed of a transverse wave on a stretched string, and we got, using dimensional analysis, we got V equal to square root of T by mu, where T is the tension and mu is the mass per unit length. So based on that, let us see one numerical problem. A steel wire of 0.72 meter long has a mass of 5 into 10 raised to minus 3 kilogram. If the wire is under tension of 60 Newton, if the wire is under tension of 60 Newton, what is the speed of transverse wave? What is the speed of transverse wave? So as we have learned in the previous session, speed of transverse wave on a stretched string V equal to square root of capital T by mu, where T is the tension in the string which is given here 60 Newton and mu is the mass per unit length. Mass per unit length. So here mass of the entire 0.72 meter long wire is given. That is 5 gram. You can see here. So 5 gram is nothing but 5 10 to the power of minus 3 divided by total length of the wire is 0.72 meter. 0.72 meter. So if you simplify this, calculate and simplify, we get the result 6.9 into 10 raised to minus 3 kg per meter. So it is called a linear mass density, mass per unit length, almost 7 gram per meter. Okay. So this is the mass per unit length and T is given. Directly substitute the values. Thus V equal to square root of 60 divided by 6.9 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So it comes out to be 60 into 10 raised to 3, that is 6 into 10 to the power of 4. 6 into 10 to the power of 4 divided by almost 7. 6.9, you can almost take it as 7. So if you simplify this, you will get 93 meter per second. 93 meter per second. This is the speed of the transverse wave traveling on a stretched string. So it depends on the elastic property, that is tension of the stretched string, and depends inversely on the mass per unit length, that is called as linear mass density. As linear mass density increases, the speed decreases. As linear mass density decreases, speed increases, because it is inversely proportional to square root of mu. Okay. Now in the next we will study about speed of longitudinal wave. Speed of longitudinal wave on a solid bar. Speed of longitudinal wave on a solid rod or bar of certain length. Okay. Again, we have to consider here the elastic property and the inertial property. Now let us learn speed of a longitudinal wave traveling on a solid bar or a solid rod, like a metal rod or a metal bar. You see, when the longitudinal wave travels in a particular solid medium or the other fluid medium, here it is a solid medium, then it will always have compressions and rarefactions. the progressive wave of a longitudinal wave is having alternative compressions and rarefactions in that small volumes of the medium. So the elastic property of the medium responsible here is the Young's modulus, because the solid bar, it is a linear medium. You can say this is a linear medium. Linear medium. So the elastic property that is responsible here is the Young's modulus. You know what is Young's modulus? It is the ratio of longitudinal stress to the longitudinal strain. So when the longitudinal wave or a longitudinal wave travels by forming alternative compressions and rarefactions, the linear medium like the solid bar will tend to have the longitudinal stress in the longitudinal strains. Okay, therefore we need to consider the elastic property that is of Young's modulus. Young's modulus is the elastic property. Elastic modulus or elastic property. Young's modulus is given by longitudinal stress F by A to the longitudinal strain delta L by L, where L is the length of the bar. So this we have already studied. So this is giving you in the denominator longitudinal strain, and in the numerator you will get longitudinal stress, right? So Young's modulus will be having the same SI unit as that of longitudinal stress. Therefore, the dimensions of Young's modulus are the dimensions of the longitudinal stress, force per unit area. So force per unit area is nothing but the pressure. So it is having the dimensions of pressure. So dimension of pressure is force per unit area. M L T raised to minus 2 meter kg meter per second square, that is of force, divided by area. Divided by area is given by L square. So if you take the dimension of this becomes M L raised to minus 1 T raised to minus 2. This becomes the dimension of Young's modulus. Then this is the elastic property, and the relevant inertial property is mass per unit volume. Relevant inertial property is mass density. Mass density rho, that is equal to mass per unit volume. Mass per unit volume, right? So the dimension of the mass density, if you write, it becomes, you see, mass divided by volume. So it will be M L raised to minus 3. So this becomes the dimensions of the mass density, that is of the solid bar, right? Now, speed of transverse wave. Speed of transverse wave in such linear medium like a bar, which is having certain thickness as well as the length. So in such case, it is found to be directly proportional to the Young's modulus, elastic property, that is Young's modulus, and it is inversely proportional to the density, mass density. That is inversely proportional to rho. By careful observation, if you take the ratio of these y by rho, dimensions of y by rho, if you carry out dimensions of y divided by dimension of rho. Here we are not going for exact derivation. The exact derivation is only there for your higher classes. So we are just getting the important equation for the transverse wave. In this case it is longitudinal wave. It is not transverse wave, it is longitudinal wave. Speed of longitudinal wave. Speed of longitudinal wave. It is found to be directly proportional to Young's modulus and inversely proportional to the mass density. If you just take the dimension, ratio of the dimensions, then it comes out to be ml raised to -1, p raised to -2, whole divided by ml raised to -3. So if you take the numerator, the dimension of mass cancels, so you are left with L raised to 2 and p raised to -2. So thus we can say that this is the dimension of velocity or dimension of speed. Dimension of speed square. Therefore, we can say that speed dimension is equal to square root of this. Square root of dimension of L square e raised to -2. So dimension of L square e raised to -2. Thus it concludes that it is the dimension of y by rho. Therefore, speed of a longitudinal wave is finally v is equal to square root of y by rho, where y is the Young's modulus and rho is the mass density, that is mass per unit volume. So this is obtained in meter per second. This is how we get it by dimensional analysis. Okay. Now we will see the speed of longitudinal wave in gases. Speed of longitudinal wave such as speed of sound in gases. Okay. So if it is a solid bar and if you are asked to find out what is speed of sound, sound is a longitudinal wave. So what is speed of sound on a solid bar, then you need to know what is the Young's modulus of that metallic bar or that solid bar and what is its density. By the knowledge of Young's modulus and density, under square root of that we directly get the speed of sound in the solid bar. Okay. Now let us study how to find the speed of sound wave in a bulk medium. Bulk medium may be a solid medium or a fluid medium, like a liquid or even gases. So if it is a bulk medium, how to find out the speed of a longitudinal wave like sound? When the sound travels when the longitudinal wave travels, it is forming the compressions and rarefactions, alternative compressions and rarefactions by the oscillations of the particles of the medium forward and backward. The oscillations of the particles of the medium, they oscillate forward and backward along the direction of propagation of the sound. Therefore, it is a longitudinal wave. So when the particles of the medium oscillate back and forth or forward and backward along the direction of propagation of the sound wave, alternative compressions and rarefactions are formed. As a result, the elastic property that is relevant here is the bulk modulus, because when the longitudinal wave travels, when the particles oscillate backward and forward, they form regions of higher pressure and low pressure, higher pressure and low pressures. Regions of higher pressures are called as, compressions of high density, and regions of lower pressure are called as rarefactions of low density, right? So here the variation of pressure takes place. So here it is the bulk modulus. Bulk modulus is defined as the compressive stress to the compressive strain, the ratio of compressive stress to the compressive strain. So when the longitudinal wave travels through the bulk medium, like a bulk solid medium or liquid medium or gas medium, due to the pressure variations, the compressive stress are formed. Compressive stress are formed with the compressive strain. So the elastic property responsible here is bulk modulus. The relevant elastic property of the bulk medium is bulk modulus. B. We have studied already bulk modulus as the compressive stress or compressional stress, ratio of compressional stress to the compressional strain. Compressional stress is nothing but pressure. Compressional strain, which is nothing but delta F by A, which is giving you delta P, change in pressure. So force per unit area gives you pressure divided by compressional strain, delta B by B. Since it is compressing, therefore it is taken as negative sign. We have studied it in the property of elastic properties of matter, right? So B is equal to delta P by delta B by B, or you can just take P itself as the pressure. So change in pressure delta P is produced as a result of change in volume per unit volume, which we call as compressional strain, when a longitudinal wave travels by the formation of alternative compressions, rarefactions, compressions and rarefactions. Okay. Now we will write what are the dimensions of bulk modulus. Dimension of bulk modulus, you see, is the dimension of pressure itself, because the denominator doesn't have any dimensions. Dimension of volume cancels with dimension of volume. Therefore, it is having dimension of pressure. Dimension of pressure is equal to same as we have written earlier, ml raised to -1, t raised to -2. Stress per unit area. Stress is force per unit area, restoring force per unit area, that is restoring normal force per unit area, that gives us ml raised to -1, t raised to -2. Then the relevant inertial property here is mass density. Inertial property of the medium is mass density. Rho equal to mass per unit volume. So as we have defined, the compressions are the regions of high pressure followed by high density. Rarefactions are the regions of low pressure and low density. So as there is a pressure variation, there is a density variation also. Therefore, the inertial property is the mass density, which is given by rho equal to mass per unit volume. So the dimension of the density is mass per unit volume. So I can write it as ml raised to minus 3. Again, by the same analysis, dimensional analysis, if we carry out, we find speed of sound or speed of longitudinal wave is found to be directly proportional to the bulk modulus or pressure, directly proportional to bulk modulus, that is the elastic property. Elastic modulus, that is bulk modulus, and it is inversely proportional to the density. These are the two factors, elastic property and inertial property. So dimensional analysis, if you carry out, let me take the ratio of V by rho. So we can say that V is directly proportional to V by rho. So if you take the ratio of dimension of V by dimension of rho, again we are going to get the similar equation which we had earlier, ml raised to minus 1 p raised to minus 2 whole divided by density ml raised to minus 3, ml raised to minus 3. So dimension of mass cancels. L raised to minus 3, when it comes to the numerator, it becomes L raised to plus 3. Plus 3 minus 1 becomes L square. So it becomes dimension of L square P raised to minus 2. So this is definitely dimension of speed or velocity raised to 2. Speed or velocity raised to 2. Therefore, dimension of speed from this observation, dimension of speed is square root of dimension of B divided by dimension of rho. Dimension of B divided by dimension of rho. Now dimension of B is definitely dimension of pressure. So I can write it is nothing but dimension of pressure. So I write it as dimension of pressure divided by dimension of rho, dimension of pressure divided by dimension of rho. Therefore, we get finally dimension of speed of sound or speed of longitudinal wave in a bulk medium like solid, liquid or gas is given by square root of dimension of pressure divided by dimension of density, mass density. So I can now write, therefore, V is equal to some constant times square root of P by rho, square root of P by rho, where P is the pressure and rho is the density. Now when it is exactly derived, this is all derivation done by Sir Isaac Newton. These are all called as Newton's formulae, Newton's analysis. So Newton derived, when he derives exactly without the dimensional formula, he finds that C is equal to 1. C is equal to 1 exactly in the exact theoretical derivation which we are not following. So therefore what happens? Constant when C is becoming 1, then V becomes P by rho. This is the speed of sound or speed of longitudinal wave in a solid, liquid or any gas medium if it is a bulk medium. Okay. So V equal to square root of T by rho. This is the relation. So if pressure is not given, we use the equation V equal to square root of D by rho, where V is the bulk modulus. Bulk modulus if it is a solid, or bulk modulus if it is a fluid, and rho is the density of that solid or fluid, right? So by the knowledge of B, so instead of P you can write V by rho. This is the most relevant equation for finding the speed of sound in a medium. Now we'll go through the speed of sound in solid medium, in liquid medium like water, and speed of sound in gas medium like air. There we come to know that the speed of sound in solids is maximum. It travels with the maximum speed in solids, and it travels with the least speed in gases like air, and it travels with some medium value of speed in liquids like water, right? How does it depend? It is all because of the bulk modulus. The bulk modulus of solids is highest because of their incompressibility. So as a result of a high value of bulk modulus, and even the density of solids is also high, but the bulk modulus is so high, even though the density of solids is high, the ratio of V by rho is going to be very large. Therefore, speed of sound in case of solids is highest. Let us see the data. Now let us look at the speed of sound in some media. Like let us see the solid medium like aluminium, copper, steel, granite. When you look at aluminium, 6420 meter per second is the speed of sound in aluminium. Whereas in steel it is almost nearly 6000, that is 5941 meter per second. That is 5.9 kilometer per second. In granite, it is 6 kilometer per second, 6000 meter per second. In copper, 3560 meter per second. So when you look at this, sound is traveling with highest speed, maximum speed in solids. Whereas now look at the examples of liquids like water. Water at 0 degrees Celsius, the speed of sound in water at 0 degrees Celsius is 1402 meter per second. You can just remember 1.4 kilometer per second. 1.4 kilometer per second. When the water is at room temperature, say about 20 degrees Celsius, its speed is little higher, nearly 1500. That is 1482 meter per second. 1.5, nearly 1.5 kilometer per second. Whereas seawater, the density of seawater is more than density of the ordinary water. So when the density is more, the speed of seawater is 1522. When the density is more, then what actually happen? The speed of sound should be less, because speed is inversely proportional to the density. The speed of longitudinal wave is inversely proportional to square root of density. But as seawater is having more density, what is happening? The speed is increasing. The reason is the bulk modulus. Bulk modulus of seawater is more than that of the ordinary water. Now look at the gases like air. Air at 0 degrees Celsius, the speed of sound in air is, as you know, 331 meter per second, less as compared to solids and liquids. Speed of sound in air at room temperature, nearly 20 degrees Celsius, is 343. So as temperature increases, the speed of sound also increases, 343 meter per second. Whereas in a very less dense medium, like very light medium, helium is the lightest, right? And more than that is hydrogen. The hydrogen density is least compared to that of helium. So as density decreases, speed increases. So speed of sound in helium is 965 meter per second, whereas in hydrogen it is 1284 meter per second. So these are the data. From this, the speed of sound in solids is maximum. V of sound is maximum in solids and minimum in gases. What is the reason? The reason here is the solids are having highest incompressibility. Solids do not get compressed at all due to traveling of these sound waves. So because of their high bulk modulus, of solids is very high, and even the density of solids is very high compared to that of gases and liquids. But still then the ratio V by rho is such that it is the highest in case of the solids. The main reason is solids are highly incompressible. As a result, bulk modulus is very high in case of solids and followed by that of liquids. Therefore here it is medium value, and that of the gases are highly compressible. Therefore their bulk modulus is very low. Since bulk modulus of gases is very low, therefore their speed of sound in gases is minimum. Okay, so as density decreases, the speed of sound increases. Whereas in case of solids, the ratio V by rho itself is very high. Even though density of solids is very high compared to that of liquids and gases, bulk modulus value is so high that it will compensate more than the increase in the value of density. Therefore, the speed of sound in solids is maximum. Okay, in the next video we will learn about speed of sound in air, how it is going to be calculated, right? That we will see in the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.